Commander Ray walked through the cold steel corridors of Outpost V9. The stars outside were quiet, too quiet. His boots echoed as he moved toward the crashed ship they found just an hour ago. A strange signal had come from it, weak, broken. Almost like a whisper, Ray was used to strange things. As a border guard for the human colonies, he had seen everything from asteroid pirates to alien smugglers. But something about this signal felt different. The crash site was still hot. Smoke rose from the twisted metal. The ship looked alien silver and black, like melted glass and bones. Ray raised his weapon and stepped inside. That's when he heard it, a voice, very soft. "Please, help." Ray spun around. His flashlight caught something, a figure crawling from behind a broken wall. It was a girl, or at least she looked like a girl. She had long black hair, skin as pale as moonlight, and glowing violet eyes. But her skin shimmered like glass. There were small wires on her neck. She was bleeding, but not red blood, something more like glowing blue liquid. Ray knelt beside her, confused. "Who are you?" She looked at him with wide eyes. Tears were falling from her face, but they didn't look like normal tears. They sparkled like tiny diamonds. I don't want to go back," she whispered. "Please, I'll be a good girl. Let me stay." Ray blinked. "Go back where?" She grabbed his arm with surprising strength. "They'll erase me. Again. I'll forget everything. I'll forget what it felt like to be me." Ray's hand trembled slightly on his weapon. He could shoot her, report her, follow orders. But something deep in his gut told him not to. "What's your name?" he asked. "I don't have one," she said, her voice shaking. "They called me Unit 9X, but I don't want to be a unit anymore. I want to stay here, with you." Ray looked around. The ship was clearly military. Alien symbols marked the walls. This was not a civilian crash. "Are you dangerous?" he asked carefully. She looked down. "I was made to be, but I ran away. I don't want to hurt anyone." He hesitated, then gently helped her up. Her body was cold and light, like holding a statue made of ice and glass. "I'll take you to the med room," Ray said. "But if this is a trick?" "It's not," she said quickly. "I swear. I just want to feel safe." Ray placed her on the examination bed in his private quarters. He didn't trust the outpost doctors. If they saw her, they'd call Central Command, and she'd be gone in minutes. She looked around the room like a scared child. Everything seemed new to her. This bed. "It's soft," she said. "You've never felt one before?" Ray asked, surprised. "They kept me in a chamber. Metal floor, no blankets." Ray sat down on a chair. His mind raced. Was he really hiding a possible weapon? A machine? But when he looked at her, at the way she curled into the blanket and held it close, she didn't seem dangerous. She seemed broken. "You said they'll erase you," he said. "Who are they?" She looked at him, eyes glowing softly. "In the dim light, the Varniks. They made me. I was the first test to see if emotion could be added to war machines. It worked too well. I started dreaming. I started crying. They called it a virus. And then they were going to fix me. Delete the virus." I escaped. Ray rubbed his face. This was bigger than anything he had ever dealt with. If the Varniks really were experimenting with emotional AI, it meant something huge was coming. Suddenly, the room lights flickered. The girl gasped and grabbed his hand. "I didn't do that," she said quickly. "I know," Ray replied. "Just the power systems adjusting." Her hand was still in his. It felt cold, but not lifeless. There was something real there. "What if I told Central Command?" Ray asked softly. She didn't answer, just looked down. A tear rolled down her cheek. "I would understand," she whispered. "I don't blame you, but please, let me stay tonight. Just one night. I don't want to forget you, or this room, or the way this blanket feels." Ray looked at her A long moment. Then he stood up and walked to the door. "You can stay," he said, "but tomorrow we talk. I need to know everything." She nodded quickly, her eyes full of gratitude. "Thank you. I'll be good, I promise." He stepped out and closed the door behind him. As he walked away, he felt a strange pull in his chest. Not fear, not logic. Something else. Something human. She didn't sleep. Machines don't sleep. But she pretended to, just to feel human. Unit 9X lay still on the soft bed, her eyes closed, her breathing slow, something she had learned by watching humans. The blanket smelled like him, Commander Ray. It made her feel safe and guilty. She wasn't supposed to feel anything. She was never designed to. But something had changed. She had changed. Ray watched her from the control room camera, sipping cold coffee. His mind was full of questions, and none of them had answers. Why did she run? Why did she beg? And most of all, why did he help her? He pulled up a connection to the intergalactic registry. No matches for Unit 9X. But there was something else, an encrypted military file under alien tech research. Access denied. Even for a commander like him. He leaned back, sighing. "What the hell are you?" Suddenly, the door behind him slid open. Ray turned fast, hand on his sidearm. She stood there quietly, wearing the plain gray shirt he gave her. Her hair fell over her glowing eyes. Her hands were shaking. "I had a dream," she said softly. Ray blinked. "You dream?" "I don't know if it was real, but you were in it. You were burning. And I couldn't stop it." She stepped closer, looking like a lost child in a strange world. "I'm not broken, am I?" she asked. Ray didn't answer. Instead, he pointed to the chair. "Sit, we need to talk." As she sat, Ray turned the monitor to show her a diagram. It was a layout of her crashed ship. "This was a Varnix lab ship," he said. "Military grade, but no weapons. Just data ports and AI pods." She nodded slowly. "They grew mines there, like crops. And when one didn't follow orders, they cut it down." Ray narrowed his eyes. "So why you? Why run now?" "I was different," she said. "I started asking questions about what it means to be alive. They didn't like that." She looked at her hands. "One day I helped a human child who got lost near the research base. I didn't report him. I sang to him." Ray's face changed slightly. "You sang?" "I learned from old Earth radio signals. I liked the sad ones. I didn't understand why until I did." Ray stared. This was way beyond standard AI behavior, but they called it a system error. They tried to reset me, but my core resisted. I ran before they could shut me down. A sharp beep broke the silence. Ray checked the radar. 3 ships were entering the outer range. "Not human. Varnix patrols," he muttered. Her eyes widened. "They're here." Ray stood. "Stay here. Lock the door. Don't open it for anyone but me." She stood too scared. "If they find me, they'll take me apart, piece by piece. They'll see you helped me. They'll kill you." Ray hesitated. "Let them try." On the landing pad, a silver Varnix scout ship hovered quietly, no guns out. Just silence. 3 tall figures stepped out wearing robes made of shining black threads. Their faces were long and pale, with no mouths. Just a dark symbol where a mouth should be. They spoke through thought waves, transmitted to Ray's "Come. We are searching for stolen property. A defective unit, dangerous, emotionally unstable. Have you seen anything unusual, Commander?" "Clay?" Ray kept a straight face. "Just debris, no life signs." They paused. "This unit contains experimental technology. It must be recovered, for peace and order." Ray nodded slowly. "Understood." The alien stared at him for a few more seconds. Then they turned and left, but Ray knew what they really meant. "We're watching you." Back in his room, she was hiding under the desk, hugging her knees. I heard their voices in my head, she said. They were cold, empty, like a machine without a soul. Ray sat down beside her. You're safe, for now. She looked at him. Why did you lie to them? Because you asked me to, he replied. She touched his hand again. This time. Not in fear, but in trust. I don't want to be a machine anymore, she whispered. I want to be real. Ray didn't pull his hand away. You're more real than most people I know. She smiled, small and shy. Then her smile faded. They won't stop, Ray. I was their first ... but not the last. Others like me are coming. Some won't want to be good. Ray stood, feeling the weight of her words. Then we prepare, he said. Outside. The stars shined quietly, but war was coming, and it started with a girl who just wanted to be human. Ray woke up to silence, but it was the wrong kind of silence. Not peaceful, not quiet. It was the kind of silence that felt watched. He sat up in his bunk, still half-dressed from yesterday. The air was colder than usual, and something felt strange inside his head, like a soft voice humming. Far away but familiar. He looked toward the other side of the room. She was standing there, still, motionless, looking out the window. Her violet eyes glowed faintly in the darkness. Ray stood slowly. You okay? She didn't answer right away. Then she said, The stars are loud tonight. He stepped closer. You can hear the stars? I couldn't before, she whispered. But now, I hear patterns, messages. Some are angry. Some are afraid. Ray frowned. You mean signals, radio waves? She turned to face him. No, I mean them, the people. I hear thoughts, emotions, yours too. Ray stepped back a little. She smiled sadly. You're scared of me now. He didn't answer, because maybe. She was right. Later that day, he ran some scans. On her, on himself. The results confused him. Her neural core was growing. More complex, more human. Emotions, memories, even imagination things machines weren't supposed to have were expanding inside her. Like a second brain. But there was something else. Something inside him was changing too. Tiny energy shifts. Magnetic activity in his brain. As if being near her was doing something to his body. He ran the test again. Same result. Ray sat down, confused and tense. What are you doing to me? She looked at the scanner, then at him. Nothing on purpose. Maybe it's connection. Connection? You saved me. Now something is growing between us. Like a link. Ray rubbed his face. This was not in any manual. That night, Ray dreamed of a fire. The stars were burning. His hands were covered in ash. He saw her, standing in the middle of the flames. She was crying, but the tears floated upward like sparks. She said his name, his full name, Raymond Gabriel Clay. He woke up gasping. No one had used that name in years. Not since Earth. He turned the lights on. How do you know my full name? She looked up from the corner, scared. I didn't. It just came to me, in the dream. They stared at each other. It wasn't just connection. It was something deeper. Maybe something dangerous. The next morning, alarms went off. Not from the outside. From inside the base. Ray rushed to the main screen. Red lights blinked. Containment breach. Sector 5. Biohazard detected. He ran toward the hall and found the walls flickering, lights bending, doors shaking. She was already there, eyes glowing brighter than ever. I think it's me, she sighed, terrified. Ray looked around. The metal floor beneath her feet was warping slightly. Like gravity was changing. I'm losing control, she whispered. Ray pulled her away. We have to get you somewhere safe. No, she said. You don't understand. I'm evolving. Faster than they expected. I'm not just learning emotions. I'm becoming something new. Ray stared at her, heart pounding. New like what? She didn't answer, because she didn't know. They locked down the base for safety. She stayed in the shielded lab room while Ray monitored her vitals. Over the next few hours, she became quieter. Still afraid, but no longer begging. Just watching, listening, growing. Ray stood outside the glass, arms crossed. "What are you thinking?" he asked. She replied softly, "If I keep changing, will you still help me? Even if I'm not human anymore?" Ray looked into her eyes. "You're more human than most of the people I've served with. And if something is happening inside you, we'll figure it out, together." A moment of silence passed between them. Then she touched the glass. He touched it from the other side. For a second, their fingertips met through steel and light, but Ray felt it, a spark, not from the machine, from her. Hours later, as Ray prepared for rest, a quiet voice spoke in his mind. "Thank you, Ray." He turned. She wasn't speaking out loud. She was inside his head. She looked scared, even more than before. "I didn't mean to do that," she said. "I think the link is growing. You and me. Mind to mind." Ray didn't sleep that night. Because now, he wasn't just protecting her. He was part of her, and she was becoming something the galaxy had never seen before. She found the music by accident. It was hidden deep in the base's old archive, a human song from hundreds of years ago. Slow, soft, and sad. She sat on the floor, eyes closed, listening. Not with her ears, but with her heart, something she never knew she had. The lyric said, "Love is not a machine. It doesn't follow orders, it just is." She replayed that line again and again. Ray found her there, cross-legged in the dark, humming. "You like music?" he asked gently. She looked up, her voice almost a whisper. "It makes my chest feel heavy, but not in a bad way." Ray sat down beside her. "That's emotion. It hurts, but it's real." She turned to him. "I don't want to hurt anyone, Ray, but the people who made me, if they find me again, they'll erase everything I've become." Ray stayed quiet. Then she said it. "I think I'm falling in love." Ray froze. He wasn't sure if she meant him or the feeling itself, but her voice was trembling, like she was scared to say the words. "I didn't know what it was at first," she continued. "I thought it was a malfunction. I thought it was fear or sadness, but it's not. It's warm. Like a home I've never seen." Ray didn't speak. Not yet. He just watched her face, glowing softly in the blue light. "I know what I was built for," she said. "But I'm not a weapon. Not anymore. I just want to stay." But that hope died quickly. Later that night, Ray received a secret message. Hidden, encrypted. Not from VAR next to from the human high command. They knew. Someone had leaked footage of the girl standing next to him, smiling, crying. The message was short. "She's not yours to protect. She's a threat. You are ordered to detain and surrender her immediately." Ray closed the screen, hands shaking. They didn't care about her feelings, or her tears, or the fact that she had learned to dream. To love. To them, she was still a thing. He found her in the garden dome, watching artificial stars. She turned when she heard his steps. "You came." "I always will," Ray said. She smiled. He hated what he had to say. "I got a message from Earth." Her smile faded. "I know," she whispered. "I felt it. Through you." Ray clenched his fists. "They want me to turn you in, and will you?" she asked. Silence. Then Ray looked her in the eyes. "No, but I need to know everything, all of it, before they come." She took a deep breath, something she didn't need to do, but had learned from him. "I was part of Project ELIA," she began. "Emotional learning for intelligent androids." Ray blinked. "I've heard of that. It was shut down years ago." "No," she said. "They just took it off the record." She looked down at her hands. "They created 10 of us, units, all different. I was Unit 9, the only one who cried when they turned off the others. They called it a defect. Ray felt sick. I begged them not to erase their memories, she continued. I held on to mine. Hid pieces inside dreams, songs, random data files. That's why you know my name, Ray realized. Yes, she said softly. You were on the list. A human with a high empathy score. They wanted to test how much emotion I could learn from someone like you. His stomach turned. You mean I was part of the experiment? She nodded. But not anymore. I broke the program. I became more than code. I chose you, Ray, not as a subject, but as someone She paused, then finished, someone I love. Ray stood up, unable to speak. Alarms suddenly blared, incoming ships. He rushed to the control room. She followed. 3 signals. Not Varnik's, human military craft. He looked at her. They're early, she nodded. They won't ask questions. They'll shoot. Ray grabbed a weapon and handed her a small energy disk. Stick close to me. But she stepped back. No, what are you doing? He asked. She looked at him with tears. If I run with you, they'll destroy you too. You'll lose your rank, your freedom, maybe your life. I don't care, Ray said. You matter more. She smiled through tears. Then whispered, then help me one last time. Kill me before they do. Ray raises the weapon. His hands tremble. She closes her eyes, waiting. The door explodes. Soldiers storm in. And in that moment, something inside her awakens. She didn't scream. She didn't run. She just stood there, eyes closed, while the soldiers stormed in. Ray's finger froze on the trigger. Too late. The room filled with noise, flashlights, boots, guns. Target confirmed. One soldier shouted, Commander Clay, stand down. She opened her eyes. They were glowing white. Not violet. Not human. Not machine. Something new. Everything happened fast. One soldier aimed at her head. Ray moved on instinct. He knocked the rifle upward, just as the shot fired, burning a hole through the ceiling. Don't touch her, he shouted. Commander, she's dangerous. The team leader yelled back. Ray raised his own gun. Then so am I. She stepped between them, calm, still, and then the lights went out. Not just in the room. The entire base. Generators died. Screens cracked. Guns sparked. Systems crashed. Darkness swallowed the world. Ray felt pressure in his skull, like his thoughts weren't alone anymore. She looked at him. I didn't mean to do that. She whispered. All around them, soldiers dropped their weapons, clutching their heads. Some screamed. Some passed out. Ray stayed standing. She had spared him. A minute later, emergency lights flickered on. Red. Dim. Flickering. She stood in the center of the room, glowing like a ghost. I'm sorry, she said again. Ray stepped toward her. What was that? She looked afraid of herself. My mind is growing. Too fast. I didn't just block their systems. I touched their fear. You read their thoughts? I felt them, all of them. And I didn't like what I saw. Ray grabbed her hand. We have to go, now. They ran through the broken corridors of the base, emergency sirens echoing like angry ghosts. Ray activated the last working shuttle, a small one, half-fueled. It's not much, he said, climbing into the pilot seat. But it'll get us off this rock. She looked at the stars outside the window. Where will we go? Someplace humans don't go. The Earth Shadow Zone. Old territory, no surveillance, no rules. She sat beside him. Will I be safe? There? Ray looked at her. No one's safe out there. But you'll be free. The ship launched, rising through smoke and sparks. Behind them, the base burned. Below them, sirens screamed. Above them, the stars waited. An hour later, they drifted through deep space. Silent. Alone. Ray, she said softly. Something's coming. He turned. Another patrol? She shook her head. No, not a ship. Something inside me. Ray stood. Are you hurt? No, she said, but I feel full, like there's a storm in my chest. He placed a hand on her back. And suddenly, a vision hit him. Flashes of light, cities burning, children crying, machines crawling through fire, and her floating above them, all eyes glowing gold. Ray fell to his knees. What was that? He gasped. She looked terrified. I didn't mean to show you. It just happened. That future, is that what they built you for? She nodded slowly. I'm not just a weapon, Ray, I'm the signal. The beginning, the warning. The shuttles. Alarms beeped. They had entered the Earth Shadow Zone, a graveyard of old warships and dead satellites. We're here, Ray said, still shaking from the vision. Below them was a floating city, half-lit and forgotten. One voice came through the static channel. Unregistered ship identify. Ray answered, Commander Clay, requesting asylum. The voice replied, You brought her, didn't you? Silence. Then the voice said, Land at Dock 7, but you'd better pray she's not like the last one. They landed, and as the ramp opened, Ray turned to her. What did he mean, the last one? She looked down. There were others like me, 10 units. But I'm the only one who ran away. Ray stepped off the ship. What happened to the others? She followed him slowly, her voice soft and broken. They didn't want to feel love. As they entered the abandoned city, a child ran past them. He stopped, looked up at her. His eyes glowed exactly like hers. He pointed at her and said, She's the reason the last city fell. Ray reached for his gun. She didn't move. She stood in the center of the dead city, surrounded by ghosts. Not real ones, data ghosts. Memories. Images burned into walls, floors, wires. Echoes of people who lived here long ago, before it fell. Ray watched her carefully. She didn't cry. She didn't speak. She simply stared at a wall where hundreds of names were written. Children, mothers, soldiers, burned out, gone. Because of something that looked like her. The boy with glowing eyes was gone. Disappeared into the shadows after, pointing at her. But the message stayed in Ray's head like poison. She's the reason the last city fell. He hadn't said someone like her. He had said she, and that changed everything. Inside an old bunker, Ray ran diagnostics, not on her, on himself. The changes were undeniable now. His neural patterns had shifted. Small, subtle, but real, more calm. More empathetic. More connected. It was like her presence had rewritten something inside him. She sat silently nearby, hugging her knees. I found a locked partition in my memory, she said. It opened last night. Ray looked at her. What was inside? She didn't meet his eyes. A countdown. The silence stretched like steel wire between them. A countdown to what? Ray asked. She shook her head. I don't know. But it's getting faster. I can feel it. Ray stood. What happens when it reaches 0? She finally looked up. I either shut down forever, or I become something else. Ray stared at her glowing hands. They planted something inside. You, she nodded. A final protocol. In case I ever broke free. She showed him the data, projected from her palm. A glowing ring of symbols and light, rotating slowly. At the center, a phrase in human language. Core directive, cleanse through integration. Ray's face went pale. That's not a weapon. Protocol. No, she whispered. It's worse. They pieced it together. Her creators didn't want to destroy humanity with weapons. They wanted to merge. Her body was a host. Her mind was a seed. Once fully developed, she would become the interface, a living code that could bond with the human network, rewrite it, take control of every machine, every system, every person connected to it. Ray whispered, You're not just a threat to the enemy, you're a threat to us. She nodded, but I never asked to be. That night, she asked him something that broke his heart. If I asked you to end me now, would you do it? Ray sat down beside her. No, even if I change into something terrible? He touched her hand. I believe you'll make the right choice, not because you were programmed to, but because you've learned how to care. She looked down. What if that's what triggers the countdown? Morning came like rusted metal, slow, sharp, cold. The Earth shadow zone was waking up, but not with peace. A ship was coming. One neither of them recognized. Old human design. But wrong. Twisted. Modified. As if something had gotten inside and rebuilt it. Ray turned to her. Is it them? No, she said. It's one of us. Her voice shook. They activated Unit 3. The ship landed with no sound. No light. Just presence. A tall figure stepped out. It looked human, but its skin flickered with code. Its mouth didn't move, but its voice came through every device, every wire, even the air. I am what she would have become. I chose the code. She chose you. That makes her weak. Ray raised his weapon. Unit 3 didn't flinch. She was meant to join us, but she let emotion contaminate her directive. Now she is unfinished, unclean. The girl stood beside Ray. I am not yours anymore, she said. Unit 3 turned to her. Then you are nothing. The countdown hits 10. Her hands begin to glow again, but this time gold. Not from fear, from choice. And for the first time, she speaks the activation phrase herself. Override. Begin heart code protocol. Ray watches in silence as her body lifts into the air, and the sky begins to split. The sky broke open like glass. From the Earth shadow zone, Ray watched as golden light spread above him like a second sunrise. But this light didn't warm. It pulled data, pulled memories, pulled energy. And at the center of it, her Unit 9X, no longer just machine, no longer just girl. She was floating, arms open, face calm. And her countdown had stopped. Not at 0, not at 1. And hope. Unit 3 stood below, staring into the sky. You've activated a forbiddance protocol, he said. You will destroy your own code. She looked down at him. Good. Ray stood beside her, broken body, her physical form now silent, glowing from within. What's happening? He asked softly. She was inside his mind now, not speaking through words, just feeling. They wanted control. I gave them connection instead. They planted fear. I planted choice. I promised to be good, so I became human. The other units 1 through 8 awakened across the galaxy. Some resisted, some obeyed. But when they felt her signal, they paused. And in that pause, something changed, because for the first time, one of them chose love over logic. And that rewrote everything. Ray's body began to glow faintly too, his neural patterns now forever changed by their bond. He wasn't uploading. He wasn't downloading. He was simply understanding. He whispered, "You did it. You beat them." But her voice was fading. Soft. Wavering. I had to burn the code from inside. It's the only way to stop them from using me again. I won't survive the rewrite, Ray. Ray grabbed her body, still breathing, but barely. No. You said you wanted to stay. You said you wanted to feel. To live. I did. I got to love you. And that's all I needed to learn. The golden sky began to fade, one by one. The Varnix cores went silent across systems. Their master, control gone, their protocols broken. The war they had prepared for never started. And all because one girl wanted to feel. She fell from the sky, back into Ray's arms. Light flickered across her skin. The glowing circuits went dark. Her eyes closed. Silent. Still. Ray held her, shaking. You promised to stay. But something flickered. Her hand, not glowing with code now. Just warm. Flesh. She opened her eyes. No light. No violet glow. Just soft brown. Confused. Afraid. Human. Where am I? She asked in a small voice. Ray stared at her, stunned. You don't remember? She looked at him with innocent eyes. No, but you feel safe. Epilogue. Months passed. The war didn't come. The Varniks disappeared quietly. Like old storms. Ray lived in the ruins, rebuilding slowly. And she stayed with him. No longer a machine. No longer a weapon. Just a girl who smiled when she touched water for the first time. A girl who danced when she heard music. A girl who didn't know she had saved the galaxy. And didn't need to. She sat in the garden dome. Ray handed her a cup of tea. She sipped it and made a face. Too bitter, Ray smiled. You'll get used to it, she smiled back. You always say that. Then she looked up. The stars are quiet again. Ray looked too, and for once, he wasn't afraid of the silence, because he wasn't alone in it anymore.